Happy Friday, everybody. We have a nice little 14 game slate that we're going to get into. We're going to get deep. But first, let's talk about this lovely recap. Let's start with the Seattle Detroit game. This is how I knew it was going to be just a wonderfully, miserably bad day. Let's see. The Detroit pitcher decided to walk four batters. If you can do math, there's only three bases. Therefore, he walked in a run. Coincidentally, it was Seattle's only run of the game. So, that was fun. We were on the Mariners. Amazingly enough, through 8 innings, they were winning 1-0. Bryce Miller threw an absolute gem. And then they put the pitchers in. Well, they put the one pitcher in that they had lost the night before. Rewind back to not yesterday, but the day before. Very similar situation. Mariners were up 2-0. They gave up a 2-run home run in the bottom of the eighth. Those same two pitchers that combined for that poop fest pitched again. Luckily, as soon as I saw him come in, the first guy, got a little scared, so I hedged. And they did the exact same thing. Literally, it was like a replay. They ended up giving up a 2-run home run to Javier Baez, who's hitting a really, really hot 180 on the year. And so the Tigers won 2-1 as the Mariners got one hit the whole game. All they got, one goddamn hit. So that's cool. So we lost that one. Let's go to the Dodgers game because that was fun too. Dodgers score 3 right off the bat again. So that's looking pretty solid. I was like, there's no way back-to-back days they don't get it done. Oh, they did. Oh, they did. They scored another run in the 6th. 3 innings to get 1 run. Scoring position almost every inning. Ended up blowing the game. They were 4-3. Blew it in the 8th inning. I love the 8th inning. It's really fun. Let's see. The Mets game. They're up by 5. Feeling pretty good about that one. Nope. End up blowing that one too. So Mariners, Dodgers, and Mets all blow games. It's really cool. Super excited about that. So we ended up having a losing day. Again, it's getting real frustrating. Baltimore and Boston, I don't know if they just couldn't score runs. They had so many opportunities. I thought off the bullpens, there's no way that they don't score runs in the last 3 innings off these bullpens. They managed to score 1 run between the two teams. So that was cool. That was just a really fun day. Braves, that was just a bad read. They absolutely got smoked. Logan Webb pitched great. Max Fried had another bad outing. So, I think it's time to start fading Max Fried. He is just not looking good. Anyway, we move on, right? Just slight PTSD, a couple months in therapy. We're going to be just fine. Not a big deal. So we look at the tracker. We're on a really sweet 5-day losing streak. That said, it's not horrible. We've had one bad day, and we've just been ridiculously close to a winning day. If the last 2 days have just been ridiculously unlucky with blown games in the 8th and 9th innings. So it's kind of biting us in the ass. Something I might start adding regularly, but today we're going to talk about it. It's kind of hot and cold. So we saw the Phillies absolutely dismantle Washington last night. We look at today. There's a lot of hot hitters that love to face Patrick Corbin, Bryce Harper, Real Muto, Schwarber, Baum, Stott. They're like, give me some of that Patrick Corbin day. All of them hitting 300 or better off of Patrick Corbin. Should be an absolute bloodbath today. I can't wait to watch it. Cold batter matchups. If we look, there are 3 hitters for the Nats that are very cold against Aaron Nola. So everything kind of says we should go real heavy on the Phillies to just absolutely destroy them. So I really like that a lot. We were on Ursula yesterday in total bases. That hit. Might look at that again today. I'm sure it's probably heavily juiced with this matchup here. All right, let's look at hot pitcher matchups. Aaron Nola against the Phillies. Just one more thing that works in our favor. They're hitting 167 off of him. No home runs, 3 extra base hits. It's beautiful. And then Garrett Cole against the Tigers. They're hitting 186 off of Garrett Cole. If we look at bad pitcher matchups, shocker, Patrick Corbin's on there. Phillies hitting 311 off of him. Miles Mikolas. Miles Mikolas at home is a beautiful thing. He struggles at St. Louis, which is actually a very friendly, pitcher-friendly park. So kind of ironic, but the Dodgers hitting 323 off of him. So something to keep in mind here if you guys are looking into some plays today. Let's get into this slate and just pray to God that the 8th and ninth inning are kind to us today. Blue Jays Cubs. I don't like this line. This line's wrong, in my opinion. This should be the other way around. Yariel Rodriguez. He's been someone that scared the crap out of me. That said, he's looked really good. His last several outings have been very, very solid. If we look at his hits line today, it's only 4.5, and he's favored to go under that. So that kind of tells you a little something, which is surprising with the wind blowing out in Chicago. I will tell you, this is Toronto's first game in Wrigley since 2017. Does it matter? Yeah, it's a weird field. The dimensions are really, really small. There's hardly any foul territory. The wind can wreak havoc. That said, they obviously play the White Sox because they're in the American League, but this is their first time all season being in Chicago. So we'll see if that factors in a little bit. The last 4 right-handed starters that have started versus the Cubs have only given up 5 earned runs. So we've seen right-handed starting pitchers have a lot of success against the Cubs. And again, it wasn't superstar studs, very middle-of-the-road folks that had a lot of success. If we look at Kyle Hendricks, he's just not good, man. This guy's really bad. He's gotten his ERA down to 6.6. It was 9 for quite a while. But he's given up 14 earned runs in his last 4 starts. If we look at his splits, he struggles against lefties. They're giving up a 302 average. Good news for him is Toronto only has 4 lefties. But I can see, Springer, Vlad, these guys just going to town on him, especially with the wind blowing out. So give me the Blue Jays. I know their bullpen stinks right now. It's got a 5.47 ERA. That said, they've been a lot better recently. And I know the Cubs are technically second in bullpen, but I hate their bullpen. I don't like the arms. I just don't trust them. So I think the Blue Jays they're rolling 6-4 in their last 10. But man, they looked really good in that Angels series. They just came out hot, and they had a day off in between that travel from the East Coast to the West Coast. Or West Coast to East Coast, I should say. So Blue Jays here. Okay, Yankees and the Tigers. Good old Tigers. Good old Tigers. Yeah, this is a pretty easy spot to fade. So we're going to go Yankees all day long. Garrett Cole has a good track record against them. Every game for the Tigers is a bullpen game for some reason because they don't have pitching. So 100% give me the Yankees to hopefully just absolutely dismantle them. Wind's blowing in a little bit, but I don't think they get the call. They struggled to score against the Mariners pitcher. Cole's starting to come back into form. He's given up 2 earned runs or less in 4 of his last 5 starts. So I like the way he's trending. I don't think the Yankees come into this game feeling like they're going to destroy them after this White Sox series. We saw them get absolutely dismantled against the White Sox. So I think they come in with a little more hubris. And I love the pitching splits here. I assume it's going to be Brant Herter pitching, but we really don't know. It's a bullpen day. Who the heck knows? But like I said, that's pretty much every day for the Tigers now. All right, next game, Reds and the Royals. Little surprised this line's this high in the Reds' favor. I was definitely thinking the Reds were going to be favorites just because the Royals away, they're just not the same team offensively. But a little high. I think the books are a little more confident than I am. I do think the Reds win. Martinez has been surprisingly good. This guy's been actually really, really locked down. Most of his starts have come at home. He's only given up 1 earned run in the last 24 innings. So the last 8 games, he's been absolutely on fire. And like I said, we've seen the Royals bats just they tend to go cold when they're outside of Kauffman Stadium. So I really like the Reds in this spot. This is a fade of Michael Lorenzen too. He is really bad. It's like I've said the last time he pitched. First 3 innings will tell the tale of his outing. He typically gets rocked early if it happens. Again, another pitcher that predominantly throws a fastball. The right-handed pitchers that throw fastball, the Reds just tend to feast on that. So give me the Reds all day. I love it. Giving up a 340 average to righties, 257 to lefties. So I love Spencer Steer to have a day. He's probably going to be hitting that 3-4 spot. I think he just tattoos Lorenzen. So I could see the Reds putting up a lot of runs. I like the over in the spot. I very, very rarely take a Reds over in GABP, but today is the day where I am all in on the over. And pitch splits for Martinez are susceptible too, so that's why. All right, next game, Nats and the Phillies. Nola going up against Corbin. I mean, there's not much to talk about. I showed you the hot and cold splits. This is technically the pitch splits for Nola do favor Washington to some degree, but it's literally this is pretty much Zach Wheeler 2.0, right? He's not as good as Wheeler, but still a very solid pitcher. Pitch splits are exactly the same. We didn't see the Nats really get to Wheeler, except for when the game was already way out of hand. Phillies run line here. It's the only way you can find value at minus 130. This will go up. It's probably already gone up. I think everybody and their brother's going to be on this play today. Could be a reason to maybe take the Nats. I'm not going to, but I could see it. All right, let's go Pirates and the Mariners. I didn't put a lot into this. Gilbert has been getting rocked his last couple of outings. This guy gave up 11 hits and 11 runs or some shit like that in his last start. I mean, he just got pulverized. And we've seen this happen like 3 times now on the road. We saw the Red Sox absolutely blast him. So I'm actually on the Pirates, but I'm not betting full game. I'll go first 5. We've got 2 horrendous offenses. But I trust Paul Skeens. I think Paul Skeens shuts down this Mariners team that got 1 hit yesterday. 1 hit. So should be a lot of Ks. If I had to guess, I really didn't look at Skeens' K line. 8.5 would be my guess. That seems probably realistic against a team that Ks a hell of a lot. So there should be a ton of strikeouts from Skeens in this one. I like the Nerfy, but it's just like minus 185. So it's a little juiced. Probably not going to play it. But yeah, pit splits and everything look good. It should be a fairly low scoring game. The over-under's at 7 and the under is favored. So you could look at the over, but man, I literally don't trust the Mariners to score 1 run, and I don't think the Pirates will score 7. So I think the under is viable there. But Mariners are just a weird-ass team. They come out and scored 37 today. All right, next game. Rays at the Diamondbacks. Ryan Nelson going up against Ryan Pepiot. Pepe Le Pew making his first start since July 14th. So I imagine it's been a month. He'll be on some type of pitch count. I think his K line was at like 5.5. So I imagine after a month he's only going to go like 70, 75 pitches, I would assume, maybe 80, but he's definitely not going to have a full workload today. He's got an okay. He's 3.6 home. Ryan Nelson's looked really good. This guy was insta fade at the beginning of the year. His last 5 or 6 starts have been really, really solid. So I like him in this spot. It's really just a fade of the Tampa Bay offense. We didn't see him do much. That Houston series was really low scoring. Tropicana is just a weird place to score runs. So I kind of like the under a little bit here. I mean, Tampa Bay bullpen has been really good. They got the lowest ERA over the last 30 days, second in FIP and expected FIP. And D-backs bullpen, after being horrendous near the bottom of the league, has really turned it around the past 2 weeks. They've been super solid out of that pen. So I like the D-backs to get it done. I don't think it's going to take many runs. They've still got a very high-powered offense that Tampa Bay does not possess. So give me Tampa Bay. If I had to lean, I'd probably lean for the over. I think Pepiot should come out a little cold, give up some runs. We look at his pitch splits. Don't look great. It's really, really bad, in fact. So everything he throws, they're top 10 in. All right, next game, Red Sox at the Orioles. We were on the Orioles last night, came through for us, which was great, and then we just had to sit there and sweat the Twins until the freaking 8th inning, 9th inning, whatever it was. But what was it? I think it was the 9th. I don't know. Yeah, it was the 9th. They got a sac fly to win it. Corbin Burns on the mound going up against Cooper Criswell. Criswell's not good, but that said, he's only probably going to go 3 innings. Most of his outings have been 3 innings or less. He's just kind of the spot starter. So they had him stretched out as a starter at the beginning of the year. He hasn't gone many innings in a couple of months, so his arm's not stretched out enough to probably go past 4. Red Sox bullpen's atrocious. It's a insta fade, 6.91 ERA. Watched them blow a 3-run lead the other day, so 100%, give me the Orioles. Corbin Burns at home is just lights out. I expect the offense to show up. I think the Red Sox get theirs. The over 8.5 is viable, but I'm not going to touch it. I'd probably lean more towards the under, but We'll see. Definitely an Orioles game for me there. All right, Mets at the Marlins. The fish, man. Rodri Munoz is just one of those guys, though, that I can trust to give up runs. Sean Manaea has been pretty good as of late. That said, he did face the fish down in Miami, and he got rocked a little bit. 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs. Ended up losing that game. So that was a typical fish move there. If we look at Munoz, he was the other way around. They ended up winning that game 1-0. He went 5 innings, gave up 1 on 3 hits. I expect to flip-flop this today. I think Munoz gets smacked around and Manaea has a pretty good day. I just hope the Mets bullpen don't blow it for us because that sucked. Yeah, I think it's a Met spot all day. It's just will they hit or not? That is the question. But I think at home, coming off back-to-back home series for them here, should be a pretty easy Mets win, I would assume. All right, Twins at the Rangers. We've got SWR going up against Andrew Heaney. Heaney is very hit or miss. He is better at home than he is away. The last couple of starts have looked really good. Offensively, I don't trust the Rangers. Last night, it was just kind of a left on base game for both teams. I think both teams had 8 runners left on base, 8 or 9. So there was a lot of opportunities for both teams. Neither could just clutch a big hit. I think SWR has a really good day. I feel pretty good about him. I think Heaney gets hit around. Probably not crazy hit around, but he will give up some runs. And I don't trust this Rangers bullpen. Twins bullpen hasn't been great as of late, but they are very, very fresh. So they have a really fresh bullpen going up against a Rangers bullpen where we shouldn't see their closer. I don't think we'll see Yates today. They've got like 2 or 3 pitchers that we should not see. So two of their best bullpen arms will not be pitching today. So I like the Twins to, if they can just stay in the game, maybe have a 1 or 2 run lead, should be able to get to that bullpen as well. Hopefully get a bigger lead or come back if they need to. All right, Astros, White Sox. A little surprised this line's so high. Garrett Crochet hasn't looked great lately. We know that he's already over his kind of innings limit, really. So we're not going to see him go full workload for sure. How many innings he pitches, I'm not real sure. I wouldn't touch his K-prop just because there is that uncertainty around how long he'll go. I do like the Nerfy here. I think this is a pretty decent spot. The Arrighetti K line is really high at 7.5, so that kind of tells you they think White Sox are going to strike out. It's kind of hard to back the White Sox in Houston. Houston are a very good home team, and White Sox are 11-49, so don't feel really good about them away. If we look at Crochet, didn't have a ton of success last time he pitched against Houston. Went 6 innings, 9 hits, 3 earned runs. Did have 8 Ks. I think he's probably only going to go like 4 tonight, probably. Arrighetti's been pitching pretty decent lately. It's actually not been too bad. If we look at like 4 teams that have been hitting somewhat decent that he's pitched against recently, he gave up 3 against the Dodgers. I would say that's respectable. 2 against Boston. Boston, a very good right-handed pitching team to hit off of. So, in fact, he only gave up 2 is good. Gave up 6 to Toronto. They've been kind of doing that. And then gave up 1 to Texas. So I think he has a decent day. K-props, hit line, everything says he should have a good day. Pitch splits are good. It's just will Houston score? That's the only question. We need him to score a couple of runs, right? The worst thing we want to see is like a 1-0 type of stupid game. Yeah, I like them in the spot. Houston 8-2, riding an 8-game win streak. I'm not going to fade a team that's rolling. All right, next game. Guardians at the Brewers. Interesting game. I think if anyone but Savali is pitching, the Brewers are a -125 favorite easily. I like the over in this spot. I think between Williams and Savali, there are runs scored. It's just who ends up on top. I think the Brewers should be riding pretty high off of that Dodgers series win. Ended up taking the last 2, which really sucked. Kind of hurt me. But anyway, Gavin Williams has pitched really good on the road. That said, it's like 2 starts, but .84. But the guy's not good. This guy, I'm not a fan. If we look at what he did against Baltimore, 4 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, and then against Minnesota, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. So you got kind of good, you got kind of bad. Ultimately, man, the Brewers should get the job done today. But I mean, I just like runs being scored. This should be a really easy over 8 spot, I would hope. It wouldn't shock me if Savali gives up 3 or 4. Wouldn't surprise me if the Brewers get to Williams for 3 or 4. One of these pitchers is going to have a really bad day. Just which one will it be? All right, Dodgers at the Cards. Talked about this earlier. Miles struggles against the Dodgers. He's given up 15 earned runs in his last 4 starts. He pitches worse at home than he does away. Gives up a lot more runs at home. I think it's Wrobleski pitching for the Dodgers. Essentially, it's a bullpen game for them. He's all right. He's serviceable. He's not going to go out and throw a no-hitter, but I think he's serviceable. We've seen the Dodgers coming off 2 losses in a row. Will the offense hit in the latter half of the innings? They scored 6 runs in the first 3 innings versus the Brewers in those 2 games, and then in the last 12 innings combined, they scored 2. We needed them to score 4 just to hit both of those lines the last 2 days, so very disappointing. All right, next game, Padres at the Rockies. Not a game, I don't know if I'm going to touch this or not. Coors Field, Rockies at home. I don't like it. It scares me. Waldron did pitch in Coors Field earlier this year. He did really well. That said, when we look at places that he's pitched twice, second outing has not gone as well. So makes me a little nervous throwing that knuckleball in that altitude. Ball fly high in big blue sky is the only thing that scares me. So I can see him just giving up a lot of home runs. Cal Quantrill is actually one of those guys better at home than he is away. He did pitch against San Diego earlier this year. 4.1 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. Padres are going to score. It's just how much do the Rockies score? I'm just going to fade this game, man. I don't trust the Padres offense. A little spotty. They started to pick it up against Pittsburgh at home. Scary. I'll probably end up betting it because I'm a degenerate, but I don't really want to. Probably have to. Next game, Angels at the Braves. Spencer Schwellenbach going up against Jose Soriano. Soriano just throws a very hard fastball. That's pretty much it. There's a curveball and a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Braves coming off a interesting series against the Giants. So I don't know what we're going to get. They scored like 13 runs and they got shut out. So that's cool. So same thing. They got Michael Harris back in the lineup. Okay, that kind of helps a little bit. Angels have just really sucked with the hitting over the last 2 weeks, so I'm leaning Braves, but this is not a game I touch except for the over. I could see the over hitting, but that's just a lean, nothing that I've got an official play in. Let's get into the official plays today. So I like Blue Jays race to 4. I think Hendricks is very, very hittable. I could see them getting this by, potentially 3rd, 4th inning. We've got the wind blowing out in Wrigley. We can just get, Springer on, get Vlad to hit a home run. I just expect this happens off a 2 or 3 run home run. So hopefully that happens. Give me the Yankees first 5 -1/2. Just trusting Garrett Cole to have a day and the Yankees offense to come out hot against the Tigers. Give me Cleveland, Milwaukee over 8. Like I said, between Savali and Williams, someone's going to have a bad day. It's just a matter of who, in my opinion. Give me the Brewers money line. I like them here. I know Savali can be hit. I just feel like the Brewers got a lot of momentum coming in, so I like that. KC Cincinnati over 9.5. I can just see Lorenzen getting absolutely rocked, and I don't think Martinez makes it through unscathed. I know he's been pitching really well, but I can definitely see him giving up some runs. So I could see this being like a 6-4 kind of game where the Reds win. All right, parlays I like today. Give me the Phillies run line, the Yankees run line, and the Orioles just money line. Not going to get greedy there. Plus 382. Give me Pittsburgh first 5. Trusting Skeens can shut down the Mariners offense that scored like 4 runs in the last series. And then the Astros money line, Dodgers money line. Pair those together, plus 318. Then we're going Astros, Arizona, Cincinnati. So we're trusting the Diamondbacks to beat Pepio and the Rays, and we're trusting Cincinnati to beat KC. Plus 390. Then we're going to go Toronto money line, Mets -1, and then Cleveland, Milwaukee over 6.5. So we're taking an alt line there just in case. So we're just kind of hedging just in case. So plus 333 there. Was just really looking for something to get us over 300, and that seemed like the best spot to put that in. Fun parlay, we're going to go Phillies, Yankees, Baltimore, Houston, Mets. Pair those together plus 551. So pretty heavily over. If you want more juice, go -1. You can do some run lines in there if you really want to go nuts. And then the upset parlay today, I think this is fairly reasonable and fairly doable. These are all three teams I really like today to win. So we're going Milwaukee, Toronto, and Minnesota at plus 654. Props I like today, Nola over 5.5 Ks. This line came out at 6.5 originally. So I can definitely see him getting to 6. Spencer Arrighetti under 7.5 Ks, just a little high for him. This line's usually like 5.5, so juicing it +2, a little much for me. Lorenzen over 3.5 Ks. As much as I think he gets rocked, we all know the Reds are very prone to strike out. So I think he probably goes 5 innings, should be able to get 4 Ks. Give me McCarthy over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. This guy's been on fire. So if you're giving me plus money to back a guy that's on fire, I'll take that. And then give me Martinez. So Nick Martinez for the Reds over 3.5 Ks. He's been over this line like 80%. So this is a little low. And then give me Spencer Steer over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. The matchup between Lorenzen is very, very good for Spear. So I like him to have a day. I wouldn't be shocked if he smashed this in the first inning. Last time we played Steer, he had a 2-run home run, a 3-run home run, so easily went over this line. Nerfies I like today, Seattle and Pittsburgh, just two really shitty offenses and two pretty decent pitchers. Skeens obviously being really good, and Gilbert okay at home, not been so great away, but we'll see. Arizona and Tampa Bay. I like Nelson to tie down the Rays, and I think Pepio does okay in his first inning back. So -115 there, there's value. And then the White Sox in Houston. We've backed Crochet his last couple starts. He's let us down. I'm going to go back to the well one more time, and if he doesn't, then we don't touch him on Nerfies the rest of the year, but it probably will. Going up against Arrighetti. I think Arrighetti can get the White Sox pretty easily. Other leans I was looking at, Detroit team total over 2.5. So we were on the Nats over 2.5 yesterday. That's just a low line in the MLB. That said, we know they're not hitting, so that kind of aids to taking the Yankees run line when Detroit's team total is 2.5. And then I've got the Atlanta Angels, talked about that over 8. And then Arizona, Tampa Bay, I kind of like the under 8. I mean, Tropicana is just a very hard field to hit in. So, like I said, I think Pepio does okay. I think Nelson does okay. So we could see a pretty low-scoring first 5. So I think a first 5 under would be pretty good too. All right, so that takes us to the end of this video. We've got a lot of preseason NFL coming out tomorrow. So I'm going to be working on that today. We will put out 2 videos tomorrow. So we'll have the MLB and then we'll have the NFL preseason. So I'm excited to bet on something that is not baseball, if we're being honest. August has been freaking brutal. So it's going to be nice just to get away and just enjoy some football and don't have to worry about walk-off 2-run home runs and bad bullpens. So anywho, make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.